Dear friends, our verse today is from 1 Samuel chapter 24, verse 6. David said to his men, "The Lord forbid that I should do this thing to my Lord, the Lord's anointed, to raise my hand against him, for he is the Lord's anointed." This verse comes from the encounter between Saul and David. The focus of this episode is the sunset in Saul's life and the sunrise in David's life. The genesis of the conflict between them is that God rejected Saul because of his disobedience. See 1 Samuel 15, 10-29. And anointed David instead as king. See 1 Samuel 16, 1-13. But the climax of the rivalry came after David defeated Goliath. And the women sang as they rejoiced, saying, "Saul has killed his thousands, and David his tens of thousands." 1 Samuel 18, verse 7. Saul perceived that he was on the decline while David was rising. So he decided to eliminate David and truncate his destiny. Every attempt to kill David failed because God's favor was upon David. In the last effort to put off the Star of David, Saul gathered 3,000 chosen men of Israel in search of David and his men. But he grew tired and had to rest near a cave. See 1 Samuel 24, 2-3. It happened that David and his men were around the same cave, and David's men suggested to him that this was the opportunity to do away with his enemy. So David went to Saul and cut off part of his cloak, but he was remorseful afterwards and addressed his men in our verse today, reminding them twice that Saul was the Lord's anointed. In the next verse, David scolded his men and forbade them from attacking Saul. Then David addressed Saul in a very touching manner, saying, "Why do you listen to the words of those who say, 'David seeks to do you harm'? This very day your eyes have seen how the Lord gave you into my hand in the cave, and some people urged me to kill you, but I spared you." See 1 Samuel 24, 9-10. Here we see the difference between Saul and David. Saul listened to those who told him that David wanted to kill him and decided to destroy David. But David refused to listen to those who advised him to kill Saul. This episode has so much to teach us. It warns us to be wary of those we listen to, because not every piece of advice is in our best interest. It presents David's act as a model. David had the opportunity to destroy his enemy, but he left him for the sake of God, with a vow not to touch or harm the Lord's anointed. Anyone who is baptized is anointed prophet, priest, and king. This verse warns us to avoid inflicting any harm on such persons because it offends God. This echoes in Paul's encounter on the way to Damascus, when the voice spoke to him saying, "I am Jesus whom you are persecuting." See Acts 9, verse 5. Why do you listen to those who advise you to destroy others? God was with David and protected him from Saul's wrath. David did not need to use his sword against Saul. He only needed divine favor and protection. If God is with you, he will protect you against every King Saul that has gathered thousands of soldiers against you and your destiny. This episode is a warning to everyone like Saul. You cannot destroy whom God has blessed. As you respect God's anointed, may God protect you from every army gathered against you, and may God fight your battles for you and bring you victory. Amen. God bless you and have a nice day.